Welcome to Electronic Cutting with Icing Images. This is part 2 of our Valentine's Day cupcake topper tutorial. First, let's begin by brushing some vegetable shortening on our cutting mat. Remember, when using fondant or gum paste, you must stay away from the gray areas on the mat because the machine will run over your fondant in this area. Now let's knead our fondant. Make sure when you're rolling out your fondant, you roll it out in the area you will need it and as big as you will need it for your project. When you are done rolling, we need to make sure to remove all the excess. Now let's dust our fondant with some cornstarch. Spread and remove excess cornstarch using a fluffy brush. Now that our fondant is ready, let's open our CRICUT. When cutting fondant, make sure you use the deep cut blade. In addition, make sure your setting wheel is set to custom. And remember that your screen will guide you through the next steps when using Design Space. Don't forget that you can view the cupcake topper settings in part 1 of this tutorial. To remove your fondant, use the CRICUT spatula. Slowly insert the spatula around the edges and remove your fondant from your mat. If you find a few raised edges, you can rub a tiny amount of shortening with your finger around the edges to smooth them out. Anytime we use wafer paper, we need to make sure our paper is flat. Since my paper has a raised edge, I'm going to remove this piece and store it for later use. Now we are going to apply a thin layer of shortening on the mat using a brush. Once your mat is greased, apply your wafer paper onto your mat and lightly press your wafer paper with the palm of your hands. If you still have a few raised edges, take your brush and brush the edges of your wafer paper with some shortening. When cutting wafer paper, make sure to use the fine point blade and that your setting wheel is turned to the paper setting. Now press the load button and the CRICUT button to begin cutting. Don't forget to watch part 1 of this tutorial to see how the settings are done on Design Space. Since our design will be a little bit more intricate, we are going to use the CRICUT weeding tool. You can weed your design on the mat, or an easier way is to take the WAFER paper lace and slowly poke through the lace holes to reveal the design. Since our FLEXFROST has a backing sheet, we will use the green CRICUT mat. Align your paper and make sure not to remove the backing. The settings and blade type for FLEXFROST are the same as for the WAFER paper settings. Now, to remove our small FLEXFROST strips, let's take the tip of the weeding tool and lightly run it under our FLEXFROST, and our strips should pop right out. Don't forget to set up the fondant exactly like you did in the beginning of this video for this part. Settings and blade type are also the same. This is a bow template and I will be cutting 3 templates as part of my cupcake toppers. This is a template that I uploaded from the internet, but you can also purchase images and templates from Design Space. Don't forget to watch part 1 of this tutorial to see how we set up this template on Design Space. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to watch part 3 of this tutorial to see how everything came together.